If you're currently in a fat loss phase and you're struggling on how you should organize your cardio or what is the best way to do your cardio, which is going to help optimize your fat loss, I'm going to give you 5 steps or maybe rules that you could use, which is going to help get you on the right track so that you can do something which is going to be sustainable. You're going to be able to do it consistently, and it's going to cause you the least amount of resistance, or I suppose you could say the least amount of inconvenience to your life. But it's also important to remember that cardio is only one piece of the puzzle.
Calm the fuck down. I gotta get a pump.
You still have training, nutrition, and rest in a nutshell. Cardio will definitely help you lose more fat. It'll definitely help you look better. But if you want to do this correctly, you must go to the gym, do some weights, help build a little bit of muscle so you can let that physique shine once you get the body fat down.
Listen.
Rule 1, or I suppose step number 1, is finding your SFR, which is your stimulus to fatigue ratio. Basically, this means the type of cardio that is going to cause you the least amount of fatigue, something that you're going to be able to do consistently multiple times a week throughout this, let's say 12, 16, maybe 20 week block of fat loss. Something you'll be able to do multiple times a week. It's not going to be a massive inconvenience to your life, and it's going to cause you the least amount of stress. Something that's going to fall in line with the rest of your program, your nutrition, your training, and your sleep. It doesn't just have to be one type of cardio, it could be many different types, but it's things that are going to cause you the least amount of stress in your muscle, but the least amount of stress when it comes to, you could say, motivation or mentality wise, that you're going to be able to do, you know, that isn't going to affect your motivation to do other things like eat well, stay hydrated, being able to sleep properly, being able to perform well in these other aspects of life, not only in fat loss, but in life in general. A good example of this is, I think it might have been last year, maybe the year before, I can't remember. I was training for a half marathon. I didn't give myself a lot of time. I just got it into my head that I want to do a half marathon. I'm not good at running. This is something I want to do. I thought I was always built for bodybuilding. My legs might say otherwise. That's what I do. That men's physique. Cover up the legs. But because I only gave myself 6 weeks, I had a lot of miles to get in, and 90% of my training became running. Slow runs, fast runs, intervals, trying to increase my pace, trying to just build up the miles in my legs so that I was able to do the full half marathon without stopping. And what happened with my training sessions, my resistance training, my weight training in the gym, they went to the dogs, complete dog shit, because I was putting so much effort into the running. My legs were smoked, my energy levels were smoked. When it came to the gym sessions, strength was way down, intensity was dog shit. My weight sessions, they really just turned into, I suppose you could call it, injury prevention sessions, things that would just stop me from getting injured when I was going on my long runs, or when I would be, where I could be likely to pick up an injury from running. If I was to transfer this into someone who's going through a fat loss phase, who is brand new to fat loss, if you were to go out and decide, right, I'm going to get really good at running to help with my fat loss, the main reason why people go through a fat loss phase, maybe it's health. A lot of times it's because they want to look better. If you're doing something that's just going to suck all of your energy out so that you don't have any motivation to do any kind of activity outside of your cardio, for example, in my case, running, after doing 10, 15K, when I was working up to that, I didn't really want to do anything the rest of the day. I just wanted to sit in my arse and eat shite. Doing something like that where you're just trying to build up the running as much as possible, but using cardio as a tool which is going to help complement your training, your nutrition, and your rest, something like that isn't going to be very beneficial. It's probably going to have a negative effect on everything else that you're going to do, which is going to evidently help you look and feel a bit better about yourself. Once you've figured these activities out from your list of activities, the list could be jogging, walking, swimming, cycling, playing sports. For example, I love boxing. I'm not particularly skillful in it. I'd say I'm okay at best. From this list, you're going to pick out the ones that you enjoy the most, but which also complement your SFR, your stimulus to fatigue ratio. For example, what mine looks like for somebody who just moved to Australia. Well, I've been here a year, but my first 6 months of being here, I ate pretty shit. I didn't do too much training. There was just so much stuff to do and see and eat and drink that training and everything went to the doghouse. Not very professional as a personal trainer, I know, but you gotta live a little.
You just gotta keep living, man.
The way I structure my cardio, which complements my weight training and my nutrition, is that I can commit 100% to 5 sessions of walking on the treadmill. Why? Because I work in a gym and it's easy to do. I get it done in the morning or I get it done after my training. However, that gets very boring walking on a treadmill for me, 45 minutes every day. I can't stomach it. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll jump in the pads, I'll do a little bit of boxing with somebody, or I'll jump on the bike for 30 to 40 minutes until I'm feeling pretty smoked. That keeps the cardio a little bit more interesting. It keeps a little bit more enjoyment in it for me, so I don't feel like I want to fucking... You have to remember, you're going to be doing this multiple times a week for many weeks, depending on how out of shape or how much weight you have to lose or how fat you are. It could be longer, it could be shorter, but it has to be something that you're going to be able to enjoy long term. Step 3, how many times a week are you going to be able to commit to it? Like I said, the reason I do mine on the treadmill, it works for me. It doesn't fatigue me all that much. And what I mean by that is that I can do 45 minutes of a fast-paced walk on a treadmill at an incline after a heavy leg session or a heavy weight session, because it's easy to do. It doesn't zap my strength. It doesn't leave me too fatigued that I can't get the most out of my training sessions. It's very easy for me to do, and then I'll add in some boxing just because I enjoy it.
Now, can you take some more? Can you? Do you want it?
The 4th rule / step, whatever it is you want to call it, is knowing your limits with it. Now, it's different for me. Yes, I'll pop a photo up. I was pretty out of shape. I had a bit of a belly. I was just drinking too much pints, doing stuff that I wouldn't normally do back home in a brand new city, new environment. Me and the missus, when we worked back home, we were just working non-stop. We didn't have too many dates, and where we lived, there wasn't too many places to go for dates. If we had to go somewhere, we had to plan it and go somewhere else, as in maybe 2.5 hours away, or maybe fly there. It wasn't very exciting. We're over here, so many new things, new places, new cultures to enjoy, their foods and pints. Most of the pints over here taste like shite. It didn't stop me from drinking them. But knowing your limits when it comes to cardio. For me, because I have a massive history of training, I have no problem jumping straight into the deep end, doing 45 minutes, 4 or 5 times per week, doing some boxing, and I know it's going to complement my lifestyle, not complicate it, because it's things that I can enjoy and it's things that I've already done to help me lose fat and help get lean. If you take somebody who is brand new, if you're brand new to this, you need to creep it up slowly. If you go balls to the wall, all in on your first 3 weeks, an hour of cardio, an hour of weight training, X, Y, Z, and you're just going full pelt, eventually something's got to give. This is where it's important to do step number 1 meticulously. Do it in a way that's, you know, it's going to be able to complement your lifestyle, not complicate things later on down the line. Too much too soon, it's all grand and everything is fucking daisies and rainbows when you're full of motivation, you want to get that fat down. 3 weeks of blasting that, you're going to feel like absolute dog shit. You're not going to want to do it again. And then when you turn up to work and people are like, how's the fat loss going? Like, nah, I've given up. Why, what happened? You did too much too quick. You burnt yourself out, as they say. So knowing your limits at the start is very important, which leads on to step number 5, or rule number 5, which is how are you going to track it? The easiest thing to do is to get yourself a watch. It doesn't have to be anything expensive. Tracking your steps. The reason I have the Garmin is it tracks multiple activities. It's absolutely fantastic. This is not a sponsored video, although if I was sponsored, that would be fucking brilliant. It tracks my steps. If I want to go for a light swim, I can track that. If I want to go for a light jog, it tracks that. Sprints, it tracks it. It tracks everything. The way you're going to work this is that you do enough that you're not feeling fatigued, that you can still perform well in the gym. It doesn't cause you to, I suppose the best way to explain this would be, it doesn't compromise the rest of your program. You do too much running, you might have more cravings to eat more junk, more carbs. You might be more inclined to veer off your plan if you're blasting yourself in your cardio sessions. Creep it up nice and slow. Just, even if it's something as small as going out for a 15-20 minute walk, doing that a couple of times a week, okay, that feels okay. I'm able to perform, I'm able to do all the things that I need to do correctly, then progress it from there. Gradually increase it. You want to lose the fat and you want to keep it off the rest of your life. Blasting it for 3 weeks is doing nothing if you're going to give it up. Slow and steady wins the race when it comes to fat loss and muscle gain, funny enough, but fat loss more importantly, because that's what I'm talking about. If you can nail those 5 rules, you're going to be on to a winner. If you're enjoying the content, please subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.